Hello there, my fellow myth and fantasy nerds. My name is Tanner, and I'd like to welcome you back to my YouTube channel. So, over this past week, I was trying my hardest to come up with different ideas for this week's video, with admittedly not a lot of luck. But then, suddenly, an idea hit me. Why not do another myth and fantasy comedy special since y'all liked the last one so much? Now, just like with the last comedy special, link up in the cards and in the description, these jokes that I will be telling you will be themed around fantasy and mythology. Some of these I made up myself, others I got off of the internet. Also, just like last time, I will try to keep these jokes as family friendly as I can. So make sure you leave a like on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe down below, since that always helps. And without further ado, here are 50 more myth and fantasy puns and dad jokes. Little known fact, Dionysus is known to be a bit of a gossip. Yeah, he has a tendency to hear stuff through the grapevine. In various fantasy worlds, there are many different names for little people. Different nomenclatures, if you will. One time I saw a multi-volume Egyptian mythology encyclopedia at the store. And yes, I did buy the whole set. Hey, what do you call a half-human, half-goat creature that writes fiction that pokes fun at the world? A satire. I tend to keep my Norse mythology knowledge to myself a lot of the time. I just like to keep it low key. I've heard of many people who tried to become legends, but they pretty much missed the mark. I hear Persephone is really enthusiastic about her job. Yeah, she really springs into action. Hey, what do you call a person who constantly thinks they're an Irish mythical creature? A leprechondriac. I've heard that a lot of people think the abominable snowman doesn't exist, and yet he does. I find that a lot of people think Hades is a bad guy just because he's king of the underworld. I just think he's myth judged. Hey, what do you call an exact copy of a one-eyed Greek giant? A cyclone. Oh goodness, look at the time. I need to write a script about a fable. Aesop! Hey, what do you call a Greek hero who specializes in pie? Hercules. I know. Sometimes my conversations about mythology and mythical creatures can drag on. Hey, what do you call a Latin American cryptid with allergies? A chupacabra. I hear Priam, ruler of Troy, was said to yell at his subjects a lot. That is, until he lost his voice. Guess that's why they called him the Horse Trojan. I'm thinking about making my future wedding Norse mythology themed. I want something low key. Hey, you want to hear a joke about a horse with a horn? Never mind, it's pretty unicorny. I don't know about you, but I think eating a slab of grilled dragon meat would be a huge mistake. The Norse god of the sea and of alcohol was really enthusiastic about his job. No wonder they called him Aegir. Hey, what do you call a Greek god of cooking who's also just really wise, man? Deepneus. Oh, by the way, just a little PSA for you guys out there. If you have a pet multi-headed serpent, you gotta make sure to give them a lot of water. To keep them well hydrated. Hey, what do you call a flaming lizard that wanders around a lot? A salamander. Hey, where does Anansi, the African spider trickster, get all his information? From the web. I find that with dryads, especially with dogwood dryads, their bark is much worse than their bite. Hey, what do you get when you cross an elephant, a snake, and a humanoid tree from a comic book? A group slang? You know, it was when I ran into the tail end of a giant mythical raptor that I knew I hit rock bottom. I once had a friend who was really proud of being part Fae. Yeah, he had pretty high elf esteem. But seriously, Cinderella is such a bad baseball player. I mean, she always runs away from the ball. I find being cursed by a Bake Kujira to be a bit overwhelming. Hey, why are ghosts bad liars? You can see right through them. Dolahans tend to panic a lot. Yeah, they always lose their heads. Hey, what do moths and genies have in common? You tend to find both around lamps. Hey, what do you call a grumpy lion eagle hybrid? A gruffin. You can do whatever you want to a gargoyle and they just won't react. Yeah, they're pretty stone faced, wouldn't you say? But seriously, when I first saw a Thunderbird, I was shocked. Hey, what do this beret and a malicious goblin have in common? They're both red caps. I always wondered why Thor's hammer kept getting bigger and bigger. And then it hit me. I always wondered why Ratatoska ran up and down the world tree spreading gossip and insults. Guess I shouldn't be surprised. He is known for being a bit squirrely. I never work with the boogeyman if I can help it. It's always a nightmare. Also, I never work with vampires. It's a real pain in the neck. Hey, what's a vampire's favorite beer? Bloodweiser. Hey, what's a duck's favorite sea monster? A quacken. Hey, what's a sea serpent's favorite food? Fish and chips. It's really hard to take sea monsters seriously. They're always cracking jokes. So, Victor Frankenstein enters a bodybuilding competition. He seriously misunderstood the objective. Hey, what do you call a werewolf that doesn't know he's a werewolf? Unaware wolf. Hey, what do you call a werewolf YouTuber? A like and subscribe. And finally, a Greek guy walks into a bar and he sees two sea monsters talking heatedly. He goes up to the bartender and he says, "What's up with those two?" "Oh, that's just Scylla and Charybdis." "Are they always that angry at each other?" "Yeah, but they're harmless as long as you don't get between them." Woo! And there we have it. Those were 50 more myth and fantasy puns and dad jokes. If you like this video and you want more, please give it a like and subscribe down below so you don't miss any new videos. Also, if there are any other ideas for any future videos, please leave your thoughts in the comments down below and who knows, it might just happen. Oh, one more thing before I go. I am now officially on TikTok. If you want to go over there and follow me, it is at BluePantheon, same way it's spelled here. Alright, well, that's all the time I have for this video, so I'll see you all next week with a brand new one. See you guys then.